Okay, welcome to this video. I am Ivo,
My name's Jelle.
and what we want to do in this sort of series, I guess it's a series,
Yeah.
we want to give you more insights into how we build nuts bolts and how we expand it, how we grow, and just kind of the whole journey we are having.
Yeah, we want to record a few episodes every month, or at least one episode each month, explaining what we did in the past month. And yeah, sort of sharing our stories, personal stories, business stories, what we have been up to. And this is the first episode, so welcome to the first Building in Public. And I think in this episode, we just want to go over the past month that we spent in the beautiful city of Barcelona.
Which was February.
Yeah. So it's currently March, and last month we spent, I think, just a little bit less than 4 weeks, or around 4 weeks.
Yes, around 4 weeks in Barcelona.
Yeah.
Beautiful city. And we decided to work from there for a month, and the results were pretty
good. Yeah. We wrote down 5 key learnings on what we actually learned from spending a month there. Some on a more personal level, some on a business level, and I think we just want to go over the 5 things that were our key learnings from that month in Barcelona.
Yeah, so this episode is purely focused on the experience of working abroad.
Yeah.
And maybe the next one we will dive deeper into the projects we're doing, results we're getting for clients, or challenges we had during projects with clients or during particular growth experiments. But this episode is just about our
adventure in Barcelona.
Our adventure in Barcelona. And it definitely was an adventure. I think I'm just going to read the first sentence that you wrote down. Jelle wrote a beautiful LinkedIn post, which I often copy and paste on my own LinkedIn.
Almost every single time.
If you want to see great LinkedIn posts, follow Jelle or follow me for the copied posts.
Exactly.
And the first one that I copied in a really beautiful way is: you can plan what you want, but everything will go how it's supposed to go. You study philosophy here?
Exactly.
We noticed that with launching our new website, haha.
Yeah, so that's what I wrote in my LinkedIn post that I was writing on the plane back home. And basically where this came from, because I also said it in the sentence, especially when launching a website, we launched our new Nuts Bolts website. We used to have a very simple one page, and now we have a more in-depth website with that explains all our services and stuff. You should check it out if you have time. But we launched our website, I think, in the first or the second week when we were in Barcelona.
Yeah.
And what we noticed is we tried to plan it, actually looking at it from the perspective when we were there, we were actually okay, we planned it well. This week we'll be writing the content. This week we're gonna launch it. It will be the best ever. And then on Thursday, I think Ivo was just checking the camera.
Yeah.
Then on Thursday, when we were supposed to launch the website, a day before on Wednesday, we were looking through the whole website. We had the whole concept done.
Everything was done. It looked beautiful, except for one thing.
We didn't have any pictures.
None of ourselves. Not anything.
None. And then you really start I think the saying is hitting your head against the wall.
Yeah, and I think the main cause is because at that point of time, we do a bunch of growth projects with clients, but especially at that time, somehow we were doing a bunch of web development projects. Mm-hmm. So there were a lot of similar projects running at the same time, and our website was kind of like a side project.
Yeah.
And I think that's the reason we totally forgot to.
Yeah, so we looked over a few very important details, like pictures on the website. So that's basically where that learning come from. You can plan whatever you want, but it will always go differently than planned. Yeah. I think that's being reflected in our own website, but also in a few projects that we've had over the past few months, where stuff just goes wrong. For example, going back to January, we had the first 3 weeks of January planned with a lot of fun and new projects, but then stuff happens, your Google accounts get suspended, so you're not able to run any advertisements. Your TikTok advertisement accounts get banned. You have to supply 4 pictures of your passport.
And you learn from it, but somehow those first 2-3 weeks of the year, you're starting with such like a great energy and positive energy, and you want
just wrote all your goals
down. Grow, and you wrote down your goals, and then everything that you feel like could go wrong goes wrong, and that kind of sucks. But you learn from it.
Yeah, I guess so. That was the first point. You can plan what you want, but it will always go differently.
Yeah. And the second point is a week with 5 to 6 hour work days is way better than a week packed with 12-hour work days, since your productivity is 10x better. I used to think that working more equals a higher output, but that's definitely not the case.
Yeah, so looking back, I think for the both of us to the past like 1 or 2 years, especially since starting Nuts Bolts like somewhere half previous year, we've been working crazy days. Like we would start at 7 a.m. and we'd be working until 7-8 p.m.
Yeah, sometimes even later, often later, honestly.
Yeah. We'd spend like 12 to 14 hours working a day, and you'd see progress. You'd see yourself like achieving a lot of stuff.
And it's because you kind of have the pressure of doing it, because we had so many to-dos to get the fundamentals of the business right. Yeah. And I think because we were launching our new website when we were going to Barcelona, and we already had like all the services, we wrote down everything, and we kind of found a fit between the different services that we offer now. So that was all defined, but then the fundamentals of the business, they were there. And then you realize, okay, now we can really start actually building and growing.
Working on the business.
And I think that gives way more space for, how do you say that, to think about it?
I think so, because when that's the whole point. When we were in Barcelona, we sort of developed, at least I developed a new rhythm for myself. I think we started at like you usually a bit earlier than me, around like 6-7.
Yeah.
Me usually 7-8. We would wake up, we'd work until 11 to 12.
Yeah.
For like 4 hours of like actual deep work. Got the Brain FM in the on the headset.
Brain FM, sparkling water, coffee, and it was just going for 3-4 hours straight. Yeah. Then you noticed, hey, little break. We made like a good lunch.
Yeah, there was like a little bakery in the end of the apartment, or the street where the apartment was. We just get some bread.
Yeah.
And we just eat a lunch/breakfast.
Smoothie.
And then we'd go to one of the spots that we discovered in Barcelona, either some lobby of a hotel or a Starbucks or wherever. And then we'd work there from like 2 to 5.
Yeah, it was like a little break outside, walking there. Sometimes I would go to the beach to work out, but that was just like some time to relax. And sometimes we worked, sometimes we didn't work, sometimes we just explored the city. And then in the evening, we often had like, I think 2-3 hours of deep work again somehow, because normally I don't really have that.
Yeah, the funny thing is we'd usually at like 5 or 6, we're like, no, I think it's over for today.
Yeah.
And then we get into this weird phase of just like...
I think it's Spain with the siestas.
Eating dinner. Yeah, we just eat dinner, and then we'd be sitting on the couch just doing whatever. And then we'll just look at each other like, okay, yeah, we need to go do something. And first week we did a lot of exploring, I think. But the second and third week, or like even the fourth, it just usually ended up with us sitting at 8 p.m. in a Starbucks.
Yeah. We saw the Sagrada Familia. For the people who don't know what that is, it's this... I think it's maybe the most famous church in Europe at this point, and it's still being built for like, I don't know how many years, but it's still not finished. And everybody goes to Barcelona to see that church.
Yeah,
I think you didn't even see it.
I haven't been like because it's such a high building, and all the other buildings are very like small.
Yeah,
you can see it from like a few miles away, but I didn't go close to it. But you did, I think.
But after the third week, so we did explore the city, but we didn't really look for the highlights of the city.
I sent Ivo a story last week of a guy I know who's in Barcelona, and he was posting a lot of stuff on his stories, and we thought we saw the city, but we just went into the center. But apparently, if you go out of the center, there's so much more to see. Yeah. So we sort of explored the city then, and then in the evening we end up in another grind session without any intent of doing so. But I think the key takeaway here is that our productivity, especially those hours like in the morning before 12, are so important to us now as well still.
Yeah, we
Now that
stick
we're
to
back.
it.
I think even this week, Monday and Tuesday, it's currently Wednesday, Monday and Tuesday, we packed so much work in there. Yesterday, we had to wait on Lucas. Lucas, if you're watching, we had to wait on you. And we actually spent 6
We had to wait
hours, 6 hours in the Joe and the Juice. And the funny thing is, we were like, fuck, now we need to wait
6 hours.
6 hours.
We were like, let's make it a productive 6 hours. They went by fast.
And then we just said in the Joe and the Juice, and we ordered like water and whatever we ordered. And we sat there for 6 hours. And I think we crammed like from a year ago, like 3 days of work in just those 6 hours. Because we have implemented such incredible productive systems, and now even with like stuff like ChatGPT and whatever,
and the team, like you really notice that we are working on the business and improving the business and improving the services for our clients, and we have the growth team available that can handle like the actual work itself. So we really, it's mainly thinking that we have to do now, which I really like and which I think a business should be like. So yeah, definitely a productive day. And I think the third point we kind of
sort of incorporate.
It's like taking a 2-hour break during the day to do something non-work related is the best thing ever. For me, it was often like a workout on the beach. Love going to the beach, love doing workouts at the beach. For you, it was
Massimo Dutti. Go to the store or whatever.
Go to the store.
Yeah, and now that I'm back here, I usually go back to the gym. I started gymming, exercising again. And what's really important, I think, from this key takeaway is just doing something else, since it sort of refreshes your brain. I notice myself whenever I'm now in the gym, or when I was just walking around Barcelona or walking around taking a break, you get such new insights. It's like the same thing whenever you're working on some sort of project, you walk away for an hour, just go do another task or whatever. And then you come back to that task, you get so sort of like
a new perspective.
A new perspective on the project. And I think doing that as a business owner and whenever you're working on your business, that's such a helpful thing to do. So yeah, I think that's 2 and 3 are sort of incorporated into each other.
And number 4, I think I mentioned it too. Buying time is an essential skill to grow your business. In this case, I mean buying time by outsourcing tasks to team members so I can focus on the most important tasks. Mainly means like working on the business and not in the business. That's a mistake that I personally made before with like other agencies or projects I was running, that you were really working on the tasks that like needed to be done for business and clients, but you're not working on your business.
Yeah, like we did yesterday.
You're the business yourself, and that's something we really want to avoid with Nutsports.
Yeah. And I think on a personal level, that's sort of the next step we are evolving in now. It's moving away from doing those freelance tasks, like a client, in Dutch, uurtje, factuurtje, just working on something and then sending your invoice after doing like an hour of work. And now I think we're really establishing an agency with nuts, bolts, and we're really doing our thing on a different level, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And it's funny, the last point is... It's not even planned this, but it says a personal brand is key, so you'll see more on social media in the upcoming few months.
Well, here we are.
Here we are.
What we've discovered, and also seeing it from other guys, I think, is the money is where, or how do they say it?
It's just in this economy at this point of time. It's not the case for every business, but especially I think in our field and industry.
I think so.
Attention is such an important
currency.
Basically is a currency.
Yeah, I think so.
Everybody's fighting for attention, and if you are able to grab someone's attention nowadays, we have a lot of growing to do in that, but it's something we want to start doing, want to start learning more about, and it's also fun. It's so much fun to record something like this. Like I enjoy talking about it. It's also good to kind of, because we did discuss this, but we also didn't really...
No, we were working before this, and our focus sort of went away. So we were like, let's just talk on video and
Yeah.
discuss the past month. And I think like the personal brand stuff also fits with the whole part of the planning we're also involved in now, because we used to have quite looking at a brand perspective, sort of a more short-term vision of we just post whatever we want.
Yeah.
And now we're actually more in the process of creating a planning, thinking of launching something, working for a month on it before even saying something about it or launching it or whatever, making whole Miro workflows with like one tab into another and redirections and lines all crisscross through each other. So I think that's like a part of us growing up as business owners that we are sort of evolving in that planning realm now as well. That we are really planning stuff, and
Definitely.
it's not all just random stuff.
Sometimes it's still random, but I think it really depends on the platform, because I really, it's hard. I don't know if this is related to the subject, but it's something I've been thinking about. We also have some clients that we do some content post-production. What I notice, I'm so focused on figuring out how you grab someone's attention, how you keep someone's attention, for example, during ads or even during a YouTube video, during whatever type of content. You're just focused on how do you keep someone's attention. And when I watch YouTube videos now, you like notice that particular things that people implement to keep to keep your attention. But it's the hard part is it's not really authentic anymore. And maybe on YouTube that's not needed. But on TikTok, it's different. TikTok has a bunch of authentic content. But that's hard with the Miro board, because we did create a big Miro board with the whole plan of our personal brands.
Hours. Yeah.
And I really enjoyed doing it and thinking about it. But sometimes you're like, but it's called social media for a reason to be social. And it feels like a sort of game. It is a game. It basically is a game.
It's a game, and then if you incorporate the attention as a currency, it takes it to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
And that's point 5. Like we were talking about, personal brand is key, and I think that's like the main thing we're working now as well. Personal brands are both our individual brands, but also Nuts Bolts as a brand of us together. That's where this video is about as well. So I think we're working on 3 brands, helping each other with our personal ones, and just connecting with each other and doing the Nuts and Bolts brand at the same time.
I think that's the first episode of Building in Public.
I think so. Yeah. These were the 5 main takeaways of the month that we spent in Barcelona. And I think the next episodes, we will record on the last day of March.
Yeah, and it will be more inside the business, looking at our projects, showing you what we've done, showing the results, because I think that's one of the most important things, to show kind of the process and the results, so you know how we did it, so you can learn something from it. But yeah, that will be a different episode than this one.
Yeah, so we'll see you in a few weeks. I hope you enjoyed it. And
That's
ciao.
it. Thank you. Ciao.